Hello my little psychos, it's Dark, and welcome to episode 6 of the Haunting series. This episode is on the evolution of horror in cinema. Are you ready to take a walk through the decades of dread? Well, let's get into it. The first era is the silent era. The root of horror cinema is traced back to the silent film era where horror got its voice without actually speaking. The first film as a horror film is La Manœuvre du Diable, which came out in 1896. It was the first well-known horror movie. There are two names in English that it translates to roughly. The first one is The Haunted Castle or The House of the Devil. The film is 3 minutes long. If you'd like to watch it, it is on YouTube. I'll link it below. The next era is the era of Universal monsters. This is between the 1930s and the 1940s. This is when Universal Pictures had their iconic monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, and the Wolfman. Bela Lugosi's Dracula came out at this point in 1931, and Boris Karloff's portrayal in Frankenstein in 1931 as well. These became cultural touchstones. This shaped the public's perception of horror. These films emphasized the gothic aesthetic, tragic monsters, and the struggle between humanity and monstrosity. The next era is Hammer horror. This took place between the 1950s and the 1960s. It was a British production company called Hammer Film Productions. They breathed a new life into classic horror characters. Hammer used vivid color, and Christopher's portrayal of Dracula revitalized this genre. It offered a fresh and visually striking take on traditional horror tales. The next era is the Atomic Age and sci-fi horror. Overlapping with Hammer horror, the post-World War II era brought a new wave of horror. This often intertwined with science fiction themes. Giant monsters and aliens, invasions dominating the screen in films like Godzilla in 1954 and Invasions of the Body Snatcher that happened in 1956. These movies mirrored societal fears of nuclear experimentation, reflecting the anxieties of the time. The next era is the psycho-thriller era. This is between the 1960s and the 1970s. This marked a shift towards psychological and visceral horror. The concept of a psycho horror wasn't new. Many had waded into the waters with movies like Cat People in 1942 and The Lodger in 1926. But the release of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho in 1960, with a mentally disturbing protagonist and shocking violence, is the slasher boom. This happened between the 1970s and the 1980s, witnessing the rise of the slaughter subgenre, categorized by masked killers and creative deaths. It's in films like Halloween in 1978 and Friday the 13th in 1980, introduced the audience to relentless and seemingly unstoppable killers. This created a formula that would define horror for years. The next era is the supernatural resurgence. This is between the 1990s and 2000s. It brought a resurgence of the supernatural horror, like films The Sixth Sense in 1999 and The Ring in 2002. This captivated audiences with ghostly apparitions and cursed videotapes. These films blended psychological elements with supernatural scares, exploring the blurred lines between reality and the supernatural. The last era is the modern horror and subversion. In recent years, horror cinema has experienced a renaissance with filmmakers subverting traditional tropes and experimenting with storylines. Movies like Get Out in 2017 and Hereditary in 2018 delve into social issues, while films like A Quiet Place in 2018 and It Follows in 2014 played with concepts that relied on silence and a unique entity to create fear. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed episode 6 of the Haunting series. This episode was really fun to make, and it's a longer video, but I hope you stayed till the end. If you would like to become a little psycho, please hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to ring the bell. I will see you in the next video. Bye!